afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Um, Finally, the sun breaks. It's 43 degrees out, I think, with a feel like temperature of 39. Should be a good day. The deer sure responded last night. If you saw my feeders this morning, they looked like they were licked clean. The ones down below, all three feeders were all cleaned out. So this morning I'm out refilling them. Um, if you saw last night, I refilled this feeder, kind of cleaned out the tray, replaced this feeder. I saw there was a question online about why I changed feeders. The other feeder, I like the design of it. It's easy to clean. It's got good ports. Uh, Birds weren't hitting it very well. And I removed this one last time because the feed in it got moist or something. It wasn't dispensing properly. So we'll give it another shot. And so that's just the whole purpose of the channel is kind of to be a learning a channel for where we can all learn the birds, learn the behavior of birds. You can get ideas for creating your own feeders in your own backyard. I know you don't want to sit in front of your computer all day watching these feeders, but you want to enjoy the birds also in your locale. But anyway, so I cleaned out all the trays last night. It was a lot of fun. I didn't do the deep clean with 1 part Clorox and 9 parts of water type clean because it was at night and that. But I did take the trays. I disposed of the feed that were in the 4 trays and hosed them off and scrubbed them off and then I put new feed in all of them, the ones down below that the deer cleaned out and up here. And today I'll probably take this one out. I'll slip out this afternoon, take this one out, check I'm concerned about down at the bottom here. There might be moisture can gather down there, and I'll check the condition of this food up here. And maybe refill that one as well. We're doing fine, looks like, on the mealworms and such. Hummingbirds are supposed to get here I think around March 15th to the 30th. They're making their way up from the Gulf Coast. Been kind of watching reports of that, so don't have a hummingbird feeder out yet. Seemed like I had more hummingbirds 2 years ago. I didn't really see one around last year, but I'll see if I can find space on this feeder to put a hummingbird feeder. Might have to replace one of these other ones. Maybe the thistle feeder, I don't know. But I know some of you guys have asked about hummingbird feeders. Still working on the landscape plan. It's been a lot more difficult than I thought because I downloaded or first researched landscape software for the Mac, and that wasn't real easy to find. And then there's a learning curve of, I downloaded 3 of them, but I found one, I think it was Garden Puzzle. Looked to be an easy one and had a pretty good database of plants, but the plants didn't include a lot of the native plants that I wanted to plant. So while it was easy, would give me a kind of a 3D type view of what I was interested in planting, it didn't have the plants. So I kind of scrapped that one. I got let's say Landscape 3D, and then that one hadn't been real easy to work. And then I've got Smart Draw. Right now I'm working with Smart Draw, and what it does is it's laid out a grid and a plan. I was out here the other day just measuring where the trees and everything were. I need to identify what type of trees they are as well, and including these trees, and I've plotted where the planters are, and so it's more of a top-down. What looks like is what a landscaper company might use, landscape architect, where it has the trees with the crowns and all that. And then I got to decide whether I'm going to tier this in the back with some stones and that to kind of build it up to make it theater-like, with flowers on the bottom and then bushes and then tree in the back. I mean, the fence is a pretty nice little look, and it's not bad looking through here, but I don't really like seeing all the cars go by either. Now, when the leaves get back on the trees, you won't see that. And in the fall, it's just absolutely drop dead gorgeous because of the colors of the leaves from the deciduous trees that we have all around here. We don't have a lot of pines, very few pines in this area. The area we live in is kind of on the side of a mountain in Greystone, and it's I see some pines across the street. There's scattered pines, but it's mostly deciduous trees that have leaves that fall. And so, oh, here comes the birds. It's a little downy up there. But anyway, I'm sorry I haven't been online much lately. Like I said, I've been kind of struggling with getting the measurements of all this and doing some planning and research and where I want to take the channel as far as little series like the Feeder Wars series, Feeder Talks series, but I have a lot more different series that I want to plan and to pull off. But I think I was aiming at trying to get up to speed on my camera and video editing software, so I'm trying to take online courses for that as well. But then realized that, hey, it's getting spring and I need to get this planting done. So for the landscaping and get plants and get them in the ground, and so they can go ahead and start doing what they do. And so it's been. I appreciate the moderators trying to carry the load while I'm not able to, while I'm doing kind of some of this research and study and trying to, get this looking as good as I can. I think it'll bring in, as I've said before, more insects, more pollinators, possibly hummingbirds if there's some flowers that I choose that are hummingbird friendly. But the insects and such will be good for the ground feeding type birds, and birds that that want to be able to fly into some bushes or something close by for cover. But I don't want to put it too close to where a squirrel can climb up and jump onto the feeder. The whole reason I place everything about 10 feet away is so squirrels couldn't get on it. Now this pole, it kind of scares me when I measured it. It's about 7 feet away, the camera pole from this. So I may have to put a squirrel baffle on it, cut a circle out of 10 and put it on there, look for something to put around the pole just in case. Nothing is really, squirrels hadn't got really an idea to climb it yet, because I provide them food down below. But yesterday I saw a squirrel that was down on the feeders below, and he was looking up, and that squirrel went back to a tree back there, climbed up and got on a limb. I don't know if you can see it. I was sitting there watching him first on the camera below, and then I switched to the camera above, and he went up that little tree back there that I have a wren house on, and he came out on the limb, and he said, and I know what he's thinking. He's like, no, I can't jump from here. It's not, I'll jump and I'll fall short, and I'll be too low. So he climbed up the tree, and he was taking a look from there, and I guess he was looking at it and thought, no, I can't make it from here either. But so he is thinking about it. But as long as I provide the feed for the squirrels and chipmunks and such below, and hopefully doves and chipping sparrows down below, they'll stay below. Part of the food strategy that I have is to direct the birds where you want them to go with the types of feed that they eat and they desire most. You saw the doves up here this morning. I looked. There were like 3 doves. The reason is the bucks cleaned me out down below, so they had nothing to go to down here. So they were up here searching for food. I mean, it's still, it's pretty chilly out, and it's morning, and I just saw one fly in a second ago while I was talking. But gorgeous day here. We're going to have a lot of activity. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the subscribers. Thank you all for the chatters. And thank you for the regulars, the people that are on here every day. And thank you so much for the moderators as well that help make this channel what it is. Did you hear that call? That was a pine warbler. That real high trill little call was a pine warbler. You can see the sun starting to hit me here, so the sun's coming up in the east over there, and it sets in the west over there. So obviously north is that way, I believe. So there goes the pine warbler again. He's getting upset with me, I guess. So let me get out of your way, and still working on landscape plans. But it's been raining so much lately, I figured, well, I might as well work on studying software and that. But now we've got some stretch of pretty days until Tuesday. I think it's 70% chance of rain. So we got a weekend today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday stretch. I can put a fair amount of food here and be pretty comfortable that the food's not going to get wet and get in a bad condition. But I need to get out to the nursery and start picking flowers. I've pulled down what you can do when you're looking at planting in your backyard, if you want to plant native, is to go out to the Audubon database online. They have a plant database. You can key in, if you're in the U.S., you can key in your zip code, and it'll give you the trees, the shrubs, the vines, and the annuals and perennials that you can plant for wherever you live. And so be careful, because there's a lot of different choices in that, and it gets confusing, and you gotta, but it does tell you what types of, what it attracts: caterpillars, butterflies, if it has seeds and fruit and stuff, and then it gives you the birds that you may see with that. So a great resource, the Audubon, I think it's audubon.org or something, but just Google Audubon plant database, and it should take you there. But try to use that along with this landscape software to try to figure some of this out. But it's, like I said, there's a lot of different plants that pop up, so then you got to make a decision what you want, what the colors you want, when it blooms, and this and that. So if it's an evergreen or not, and whether I want to put an arbor back here or not. I can't put an arbor too close, because the squirrel can climb up and jump from the arbor to this, and squirrels is the last thing I want to have to deal with. I just want to concentrate on the birds. Don't mind feeding the squirrels. They're eating down below, as are the chipmunks. But anyway, let me get out of your way. Have a good day. God bless.